So at the time, he said to me, he's like, how would you like to buy this brokerage? And at the time, I'm only in the business for maybe a year and a half, 18 months, like I said, maybe a little bit longer. And I thought to myself, I'm like, I don't know if I can afford this. Now, a little bit of backstory is the brokerage I worked for, and mortgage brokers watching this will find this amusing. The mortgage broker I worked for at the time, I had no idea, and this is why I strongly encourage brokers whenever they're joining a firm to have a candid conversation. I had no idea that I was only getting a split off the finder's fee.
Ooh.
Yeah, not the volume bonus. Yeah. Yeah, and sorry, I apologize. But
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
We always speak openly about volume bonuses.
Yeah, and as you should. The lenders do and everything. Like, right, it's just... So anyways, not long before that, I still remember the gentleman who, if he watches this, I'm sorry, but you know it's true. We've talked about it 100 times, and we've drank drinks over it recently, and we laughed about it. But he was notorious for, like, it was a running joke that when he was in the building, somebody tackle him because we hadn't been paid in a couple of weeks. Like, he would just ghost, right? So that was always a problem. So one time, I hadn't been paid in like a month. He came in, sure enough, sandals, like flip-flop shorts. He was like, oh, I'm going up to the lake, I gotta go, kind of thing. We're like,
stop.
Yeah, my ass, you gotta pay me, man. Like, I got a mortgage to pay. So he's like, okay, and he prints off a sheet, and he goes, go get that form. Go get that form off the printer. And obviously, we grow up in the financial industry, right? Like, you don't look at documents that aren't yours, right? And I never did. I just happened to pick this thing up, and as I'm walking by, I just happened to look down. And I told him, I'm like, hey, sorry, I looked down at this thing, and I see any new agent, especially once you start to get deals flowing after you weren't making a lot of money, you know to the penny how much after your split is coming into your pocket.
That's right.
Because from the day you sign the commitment, you're making plans for that cash.
Oh yeah.
So I knew in my head how much should be on that
on
page.
the sheet, yeah.
Well, I look down and I see my name for over 10 deals, and there's all this extra dollar amount that I have no idea what it is, and it says VB beside it, and it's in the thousands.
Amazing.
Like thousands of dollars. So I put it down there, and I said, hey, person who will remain nameless, hey, what's this VB column? And that's like $11,000 for me alone just for this pay run. And he turns white as a ghost. He writes me my check, and he goes, we'll talk about that next time I'm in the office. I hear the guy across the hall go, and I'm like, well, what the hell does that mean, right? So Ghosty McGhosterton gives me the check, bounces. I go across the hall, and I'm like, what's that about? And he's like, we were all wondering when you'd learn about volume bonus.
Oh my God.
So anyways, the reason that was important is when the gentleman from Century 21 gave me the quote of how much the business would cost, I did the math, and I'm like, well, that's 4 pay periods.
Yeah.
I'm like, yep, this is a no-brainer.
Amazing.
I didn't want to leave. I still to this day, he's a friend. He's a fantastic human being. I think from a business standpoint, there's a difference between you can be an amazing human being. It doesn't mean you should be running a business.
That's
right. He was just an outstanding gentleman, but I still remember it was the boys' club, and the reason I was reluctant to join the Centum at the time, and one is like a mother to me, so I know I can get away with this. The Centum office was 2 older gals, like one was 70 and one was nearing 60. That's it, just 2 of them. And then it was me and 4 other guys, and every day at 3 o'clock was beer o'clock.
Yeah.
Right? Like it was like a fraternity, and it was, it just wasn't. And I felt like I was betraying him, and I still remember I haven't told this public either, so it's interesting that we're going here. This is the advantage of doing this late in the day, is I'm just relaxed. I'm just like, here it all is.
Perfect.
I drove to his house. I tried to text him, and I think maybe he thought I was calling about the volume bonus, because we still hadn't talked to it. 2 weeks had gone by, we still hadn't talked about it. So I'm trying to get a hold of him, like, hey, I really want to meet with you. I really want to meet with you. He's shrugging me off. So finally I said, hey, you at home? And I think he thought, like, oh, maybe he wants to hang out or something. So he's like, yeah. I'm like, perfect, in your driveway. I need you to come out front.
Right.
And because it was the only way I could do it. So he comes out front, and he's like, hey, I got buddies here, and we're having a drink. Like, he's trying to give me the impression of, like, now's not the time to talk about volume bonus. And it was funny. I felt like I was betraying him, and he had brought me into the business. He had mentored me, and it was just, so I like broke down in his driveway. And because I felt like I was just betraying him, and I was so appreciative of everything he had given me, but I ran him through the numbers, and I'm just like, look, I just got married. I want to have a family. Like, like, look at these numbers. Could you fault me for doing this? And he's like, no, but like, you know, man, this is big for me. This is big impact. Everything else, it's nothing personal. And so that was my introduction to
That was the big move.
That was my big move, and that was my introduction to Centum. So again, kind of like just like yourself, where I had no idea what Centum was.
Just walked in.
I just walked in, and I just knew that it was
It was a good
a
shop.
fresh start. Yeah.
Well, actually, you know, like there is, so just so we're clear, VB volume bonus, when you make commission in mortgage brokering, there is a little bit extra that not all agents know about, but there is a little bit extra that you get paid as a brokerage. You do now. If you do have a good volume, right? And so as Chris alluded to it earlier, if you are producing a lot, and if you are a high producer in a brokerage, I mean, you should be probably getting some of that volume bonus.
Yeah, and if you're not getting it currently, that's like, I know you're still a relatively newer office. You know, it's something that we did in Brandon. You know, even when we started out with those 2 brokers, when I left to join this side of hop on this side of the fence, you know, we were 19 brokers, and how we did that was full transparency. And it was, look, guys, this is the volume bonus we get right now, but here's what we can build towards if we combine our efforts,
I like
right?
that.
And that's what it was. And we displayed everything on a whiteboard in the boardroom, full transparency. This is where we're at with this lender, and we know if we collectively get here, we all get a raise.
Incredible.
And that's how we treated it, right? It was like, we're going to work together to get this raise.
Make sure to follow, subscribe,